Okay, so the subject of today's review is this little fellow right here. Looks like some kind of weird screwdriver, doesn't it? Like one of these offset screwdrivers that you get, but not quite. Well, what it is actually is a hoof pick. It's for removing rubbish from your horse's hooves. But I'm not going to use it for that because I don't actually have a horse at all, apart from the one that lives on the bed, one of Mrs Rathbone's fluffy toys, but that's the only horse we have. Now I want to use this little thing for hooking door handles, operating touch screens in shops and what have you, so that you don't have to touch a potentially dirty or even infected door handles and touch screens. And for the most part with touch screens it does actually work, especially on the scales you get in supermarkets. It works quite nicely with those. As you can see here, it's very good at hooking doors of most types, and yeah, it's a quite handy little thing. It's very comfortable to use as well, very nice and comfortable to hold, and it can also be used on the payment terminals as well. Very easily it works on that too, and as you can see it is fairly compact and you can keep it in your pocket quite easily, so you can carry it as part of your EDC rotation. I paid £3 for this little fellow, and I actually used it this morning because Mrs Rathbone wanted to go out for a trip to the garden centre, as it's just reopened after the lockdown, and she hasn't been able to go out shopping with me or even by herself for several weeks, and she's getting a little bit what should we say, a little bit cabin fever going on there. That's what's going on there, guys. You've got a little bit of cabin fever going on, so I took her out, and she wanted to purchase this little cactus but couldn't pick it up because it was crammed in with too many other cactuses. She couldn't get on with it without getting stabbed and spiked. So I got out the Hoofy Hook, as I call it, and I managed to get hold of the edge of the pot and lift it out enough for her to actually pick it up. So that's basically it, guys. The what I call the Hoofy Hook. You can use it for getting hold of doors. You can also push against doors. You can taps. You can turn on taps with it too. Anything that might potentially be infected, use the Hoofy Hook on. And what I do is, if I've been using it while I've been out shopping or whatever during my day, I will give it a good cleaning with some of the anti-bac gel you get. Just rub it down with that, let it dry, and it's job done. Back to nice and clean again. Interestingly, you can actually use it on a like your touch screen of your tablet, but not the hook here. You've actually got to use the flat point like so, and then you've got to get it just right before it will actually work. A lot of the scales you get in supermarkets, I can just use the point like so on them, and it will bring up what you want. But as you can see, nothing is happening here, so you have to use the flat part, and I have to get it just right as well. Let's give it a go. Look, guys. So you've got to get just right, which I'm not doing here, but it's got to be nice and flat. So it takes a bit of fiddling to do, but it's not going to do it for the camera, is it? There we go. Once you get it right, it will actually work and do what you want it to do. As I say, quite a few of the hooks, hygiene hooks you get these days are actually copper or brass, and again, you cannot use a small portion of it. You need to use a flat bit to do it. There we go. And you can do the same with a piece of brass as well. This is a 3mm copper. Here we have a brass flashlight, in this case a little lumen top ant. If you just touch on the small piece of it, again nothing happens. You need a largish part of the surface to work it. So you can, if you've got a capacitive screen, touch screen, then as I say, you can use copper and brass, but you do need a largish area of the brass or copper to work it with. But a lot of the scales seem to be resistive, and you can just use a corner or this part of the Hoofy Hook and do it with. But so this is a bit fiddly. I'm going to have to try and work on an idea whereby I can actually use the Hoofy Hook to work capacitive touchscreens. So I don't have to use my finger or my knuckle like I have been doing. I've been using my knuckle on those things at the moment. But maybe I can introduce a bit of copper or other material to the Hoofy Hook in the future, which will be a future video if I can do it. But yeah, so far the Hoofy Hook is very good for opening doors and using resistive touchscreens, as I say, such as these scales and whatever you find in supermarkets today. Alrighty then guys, so that is the Hoofy Hook for you. Just a horse hoof pick. Haven't got a horse, don't need it for that. Well, as I say, I use it for opening potentially infected door handles, etc. You might think I'm being paranoid, but there is a market for this sort of thing out there, and there are quite a few companies taking advantage of said market. So I thought I'd give this a go because it only cost me $2.99, and it is quite comfortable to use, and it is actually very good for opening doors. Okay then guys, well thanks for watching, and I'll hope you'll pop back to Rathbone Manor in the very near future then. Thanks for watching and stay safe.